Bismillah, walhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers in Islam. I humbly stand before you today with two brothers coming from Sydney. We've been invited by our blessed and beautiful brother Abu Hamza, alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, who kindly picked us up from the airport and mashallah treating us like we're some sort of celebrity VIPs when really we're a bunch of spinners here, we're nothing special. Allahumma salli Muhammad. Brothers, I stand before you very excited. Why do I stand very excited? Because many years ago I was a brother on the streets. I was a brother who started off as a drug user. I hadn't practiced Islam from when I was 12 to when I was 35. No reciting. I was eating what we weren't allowed to eat. I was drinking what we weren't allowed to drink. And I became a drug user. I went from a social user all the way to $10,000 a week user. And then from there I became a drug dealer to support my habit, and I was selling drugs to the Muslims. And anybody that came to preach to me, I used to get anxiety and angry and tell them to go away. To the level that I put an electric gate in front of my house and no door so people can't knock on my door, only for the days that used to come. I used to hate them and not want them to come near my house. And anybody that spoke to me about death, I used to get anxiety and say to them, go away brother, you worry about you and I'll worry about me. And alhamdulillah, 4 years ago I received a phone call, and just cutting it very brief. I reached a level where I was making $10,000 a day on days. Sometimes I make $2,000 a day, but basically money was unlimited, Jane. And I copped a phone call from my father, and it was 10 o'clock at night, and I'm cutting this story very, very short for you. And my father says to me, are you happy, son? I said, what are you talking about? He goes, you know what I know, and I'm your father, and every father, Allah puts a feeling inside his heart, and that feeling is never wrong, my son. That day I was standing on my balcony. It was roughly 10 o'clock at night, and I'm looking around, and I had the fancy cars and the fancy bikes and the fancy jewelry and all the rubbish. You know, on that note we make a dua, and la aisha illa aishatil akhirah, you know, we don't want this life, wallahi, and I can tell you when you've been there, you don't want it. It doesn't bring you happiness, my brothers in Islam. My father said to me, are you happy? And I said to him, I paused and I looked around and looked at everything I've got, and I said, no, I'm not happy. And I started crying. He said to me, son, do you want to be happy? And I said, yeah, Dad, I want to be happy. He goes, I want you to go see the doctor right now and talk to him. I said, which doctor's going to be open at 10 o'clock at night? There's no doctor. I think he won't be about to head to some Indian doctor, because they're the only one's going to be open on Sunday night. He goes to me, Dad, this doctor never closes. He's open 24 hours a day. And I said, where's this doctor that's open 24 hours a day? He goes, go to your bathroom, perform wudu, stand in front of a prayer mat and say Allahu Akbar. And look, when I tell this story to this day, I get goosebumps. He goes, and when you say Allahu Akbar, you're standing in front of the Hakim. And when you're in sujood, after Subhan Rabbil A'la 3 times, I want you to pause. And when you pause, I want you to talk to him. That's the Hakim. When you're down in sujood, my son, you've dialed Allah's number. It's only you and him now. There's no one else around. And Allah is listening. And I promise you, whatever you say to him, He's going to answer you. At that present moment, brothers, I was addicted to 5 different drugs. Not using, addicted. 24 hours a day. Even when I was sleeping, I was high. The 5 different drugs. When I went Subhan Rabbil A'la, I went to do wudu. And when I was doing wudu, again, I'm cutting a short, very brief. I didn't know what to do, because I hadn't performed it in many years. And subhanAllah, when our ulama and our mashayikh standing before me today, and I'm very embarrassed to stand in front of them and be talking to me, when they teach us the benefit of, you are who you hang around with, and the importance of attending a masjid, and the importance of hanging around these people. There's your fine example. Born a Muslim, my dad put me in Islamic school till I was 12 years old, and I knew how to read everything and write everything, and now 35 years old, I didn't even know how to do wudu. So I went to perform wudu, and I didn't know what to do. So my wife walks in. My wife is a revert, ex-Jehovah's Witness. She says, are you doing wudu? I said, yeah. She says, hold on, I've got to pray Isha, so we'll do it together. Now I know. Before I was so high, I didn't know what she was doing, but she was trying to teach me without embarrassing me. An ex-Jehovah's Witness. So we stood there and we performed wudu together, and then I went to pray, and she goes to me, just in case you forgot, I'll give you my old papers. When she first reverted, she used to write in English, so she put the papers in front of me, so I remember how to recite, because I had no idea. I knew Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, and the rest was history. So I stood before Allah and I went Allahu Akbar, and I started praying, brothers. And when I went down the first time, I bawled my eyes out. I couldn't talk to Allah. I said to myself, 25 years I didn't talk to our Creator. Now because I need Him, I'm going to talk to Him. I'm not good enough to talk to our Creator. So I got up the first time, I couldn't. And I kept going into the second rak'ah. And I remembered my dad saying to me, talk to Al-Hakim, talk to him. So I said to myself, you know what, son, you've got nothing to lose. Talk to him. So I went down the second rak'ah. And to make it very brief, brothers, I only said one thing to Allah. I said, Ya Rabb, be with me and I'll be with you forever. That's all I said. Be with me and I'll be with you forever. I can't explain to you what happened. It's like someone grabbed an injection, and I know this sounds really stupid, and injected Hercules into my blood. I got up, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, I went into the lounge room. I said to my wife, today, I stop everything. And my wife was aware that I was addicted to 5 drugs. Brothers, from 6 in the morning to 1 in the morning, every day. Never stopped. So I actually never came down. Some people take drugs, they go up and down. I never came down. I stayed high all those years. So she goes to the phone, she goes to my dad, Assalamu alaikum, he goes, alaikum salam. She goes, I don't know what you said to him, but he's gone from drugs to mental. So someone's got to sort this out because I don't know what you've done to him now. So my dad gets on the phone, he goes, look, what you've done is great, rah, rah, rah. We go to the doctors tomorrow and we talk to him. So to cut another very long story short, and one day inshallah I'll come back before you and I'll tell you the whole story. I went to the doctors with my wife and my father, and the doctor sat there and he's giving me prescriptions. He goes, what are you addicted to? And I said, this drug. He goes, okay, there's a prescription for that, very high dose, and we're going to ease you off that one. And a prescription for that, and then so on and so on and so on. For the 5 drugs, he gave 5 prescriptions. So I said to him, thanks doctor, I've got prescriptions, and I told him. And he looks at my father. This has been my doctor since I was 12 years old. He started laughing. He goes, your son now thinks he's Superman, because he's got enough drugs in his body to last him another 7 days because of how much he's used. He'll stay high for another 7 days. So he goes to paper and he draws a fine line, and he draws a line down. Straight line. And he just 0, 7, and then down the bottom. And he turns around. He goes, see this, my son? I said, what's that? He goes, 0 to 7, you're going to be alive. He goes, and after the 7th day, your heart, your lungs, your brain, your whole body now doesn't function on oxygen and all that like a normal human. It functions on drugs because you've got it used to that for 5 years. Because you're so high. Because I'm looking at you and you're very high. So if you don't take these, your heart, your lungs, and everything's like being a car without petrol, dries, stops. If you don't get to a hospital real quick and they start injecting you with adrenaline, you're dead. So I said, my friend, I've made a contract with Allah Azza wa Jal. And I read them. I said, you can't understand what I understand, and you can't feel what I can feel. So if I don't break the contract of Allah, Allah's not going to break the contract with me. And he goes to me again, you can't give up 5 different addictions in one day. I said, with Allah, He created me and knew He can make you do anything. I went home. To cut a very long story short, brothers, I can take an oath by Allah today in this masjid and tell you that I haven't had a craving for any of those drugs or anything at all from that day. What's the point of my story, brothers? The point of my story, when the Prophet ﷺ, people underestimate his words. When he says, Kumma Allah wa la tubali, be with Allah and don't worry. We all underestimate this. Allah created us. Before we go to the I'm going to go to the doctor. Or I'm depressed, I'm going to go to a psychiatrist. Or me and my wife having problems, I'm going to go to the marriage counsellor. There's a Hakim inside your home. Did He not say when they ask, tell him I'm near? So my brothers in Islam, this story comes back to you now. When I look at you, I get so happy. Why do I get happy? Because in my days, you know, I'm 40 years old. You boys are young. In my days, the only mashaykh that came to me were this age and couldn't speak English. And all they tell me is, if you don't stop what you're doing, you're going to hell. If you don't pray, you're a kafir. You're a drug dealer, God's going to use you like this, He's going to abuse you like that. So here's a bit of money put in his pocket. Get the crack out of my face, man. Now I see people like you, and when Abu Hamza, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him, he tells me about all those up and coming young boys that understand people like me, that speak my language, the street language. You know, we shake hands a different way to these guys shake hands, and we hug differently, and our language is Australian, but it's a street language. You guys now are going to have the words of Allah, and you're going to have the street side. So you guys now have been given a big amana. You know, this is not about just learning deen. You guys are needed in Australia. You're not wanted, you're needed. If I had people like you brothers in front of me those years ago, Allahu Alam. But, you know, personally, I don't think I would have gone that far. If I had a young brother with ilm, He knew how to approach me. He came and said to me, brother, look, you keep going with what you're going, but can we go for a coffee? Brother, keep doing what you're doing, but can I come and hang out with you? You know, I don't see that you're a bad person. If I had that, I would have gave up a long time ago. Now forget me, I'm nothing. But imagine how many more of me there still is out there. Don't wait, brothers. Start from now. Start from now, because you guys, Allah has blessed you with this. Don't think you're here on your own. Because we get taught by our ulama that not a single leaf of a single branch, of a single tree, from a single suburb, from a single city, from a single country, not a single leaf can fall off a tree without Allah giving a permission to fall off. So now ask yourself, who put you in this room? Ask yourself, who put you here today? And then ask yourself, who put me in front of you today? This is a lesson for you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He makes this world like one big classroom for us. Brothers, you guys are not here just to study. You are here because you guys are Allah's soldiers. You guys are the ones that are going to be our soldiers. We want to look up to people like you. Even me. I'm 40 years old, but I'm a spinner. I'm nothing. I'm a man that goes around and telling you a story, hoping that I can change one person's life. Why? Because didn't Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, if you just benefit one person before you die. One. Not 5, not 10, not 1,000,000. One. He goes, it's more beneficial for you, Yawm al-Qiyamah, more beneficial than this whole earth and everything that's on it. Is that not enough, brothers? Start from today. Brothers, renew your intentions on why you're here today. Renew your intentions. That I can't wait for the day that I stand on the Mambar. Dudes, forgive me, but there's already 1 million people standing on the Mambar. We're the street soldiers. We're the street da'is that have got knowledge. Not ones that have got old school knowledge that come out and say, you don't pray, brother, guess where you're going? To Jahannam. Oh, Rasulullah says, if you don't pray, you're kafir. This is not the older guys we need. May Allah reward them, because that's how they were taught. But then you guys got raised in this country. So Allah, He allowed the classroom for you before you came into this classroom. You experienced the world, and now you're experiencing the gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So forgive me, my brothers, if I leave here today, I'm going to leave on you an amana on your neck. And this amana is to remember people like me. Because there's millions of me out there. I've given up my whole life. Wallahi, tears roll out of my eyes when I say this. I've given up my whole life to do this. And I'm a spinner. I don't even know how to read the Fatiha. But you guys, I look up to you. You guys are the superstars of our deen. You guys are the superstars that can change, you know, the whole of Australia, the way it's moving. And if you think it's too big, then this is Shaitan whispering to your ear. Because look at Abu Hamza. From Melbourne. I'm from Sydney. A lot of my dawah works in Queensland. Our pastor never meant to cross. But did Allah make him cross? Why did He make him cross? Because Allah changes your qadr according to your niyyah. So if my niyyah is to do this, Allah changes my path for me. Are you feeling where I'm going with this? Please, brothers, you've got an amana. And that amana is you guys are born in this country. What you understand, the brother to my right doesn't understand. And I'm not putting him down, so don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Take what you're doing every day as a gift, and know that Yawm al-Qiyamah you guys are going to be questioned. That Allah gave you this power. You didn't get it. Allah gave it to you. What did you do with it? Because think of this, if a Prophet ﷺ didn't spread the word, would any of us be here? So come on, my brothers, let's renew our intentions today, inshaAllah. If you heard anything wrong from me today, I ask you for the sake of Allah, so please forgive me, and ask Allah to have mercy on us all, inshaAllah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open your hearts and open your minds to His words, and allow you to be beneficial for His deen, inshaAllah. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.